I think that every child should have unrestricted access to thick blackberry brambles or some other delicious fruit that grows encased in a painful fortress. I think wading through thorns to reach the cluster of shining ripe berries you spied through a gap between the tangled vine teaches you something important. Not sure what though. I just know no fruit has ever tasted as sweet as the ones I ate while bleeding under the blistering summer sun. My best friend was allergic to the bramble pricks, so I remember wading in there alone at like 10 years old, getting blackberries for the both of us, coming out bloody but brandishing the spoils, because we wanted fruit, and because I wanted her to be happy even though she couldn't follow me in there. I don't know. Crunch Bar, do you know what your tags are doing to me right now? This is the epitome of love! What if Tumblr users suddenly loses their mouse? J. Next post. K. Previous post. L. Like. N. View notes. Space. Show photo. Shift R. Reblog. Shift E. Add to queue. Z tab. Switch blogs. Witchcraft. This changes everything! I just reblogged this with a command. Shit. Do you know how much this helps people who have trouble with the mouse? Me, other disabled people? Thank you. Yep, I use these when my hands get particularly weak, like now. Alt-R is the new command to reblog. Alt-Q is the new command to queue. This is all for you guys out there. Hope you use them. To be honest, I think fandom generally needs to get better at sitting with the uncomfortable fact that a story or fan work or meme or whatever can hurt one person and help another. This is why I think tag warning culture is kinder and more constructive than cancel culture or no problematic content culture. One size does not fit all, but if we learn to be more aware of the fact that the same thing can be emotionally validating or cathartic to one person and upsetting to another, and pick up a general mindset of thinking before we post, what might people need a heads up for in this content, we grow more compassionate, more thoughtful, and more understanding of the differences in people's experiences. Everyone has different needs or allergies. We don't remove all allergens from the world. We post an ingredients list. One thing you won't know until you experience it for yourself. When you create art out of love, is how it feels when people receive it with love. When you post a doodle and someone keeps it as their lock screen. Or when you write a story and someone tells you they were thinking about it all day. Or when you post a poem and someone shares it with a touching caption. Doesn't matter if it was objectively good or not. Matters that someone spent time with it. That someone really, really liked it. And you made it. This kind of interaction, I think, it can really sustain you for weeks. It can sustain you through a lot of terrible things. It's confirmation that you exist, and that, however briefly, your existence was appreciated by someone else through your art. Hypercritical culture always forgets about this. Effort and love will always attract me to media more than skill and talent. What's it called when you're introverted but have taken on numerous leadership and outgoing roles your whole life? Introvertuous. I'm here to help, but I'd rather not be. Tags from Colored Compulsion. It's called Someone Around Here Has to Get Things Done, and unfortunately it's going to be me. Could you be the chosen one? I am very much the guy who's here. I feel called out. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if there's something in your life that makes you feel better, but you never stick to it, it's still actually perfectly fine to do it. And you shouldn't stop yourself from starting just because it won't be a permanent change. Like if starting a new daily planner gives you an amazing afternoon of planning, and 4 days where you feel in charge of your life, why not do it? It doesn't matter that it won't be a permanent change. 4 good days is still worth it. If you ever catch yourself thinking, I wish I could pray, stretch, prep, plan, do the thing, but I always get started on that and it never lasts more than a couple of days, what this really means is, hey, I can feel better for a couple of days. If this post is making you think of things in your own life that you wish you could stick to because of how good that makes you feel, just be aware, you're not thinking of a list of ways you failed to commit. You're thinking of a list of things that make you happy, and you should give yourself permission to start doing them as often as you want to. When I was a kid, I thought dulce de leche was pronounced douche the louche, and whenever we went for ice cream, my dad would say, "Okay, honey, ask if they have that caramel flavor you like. What's it called again?" And I'd yell it, and my dad would have the biggest grin while the server would sigh and say, "No, this is the 4th week in a row you've asked me this, and we don't have that. I don't even know what that is." She always got her revenge because my dad would get a sundae and he'd get everything but nuts. So she'd announce his order was ready by yelling, "No nuts! Where's Mr. No Nuts?" as loud as possible. My dad whistles a specific melody when he comes to refill the bird feeders. The birds have started singing it when they're empty. This bitch empty. Tweet. Have any of you heard of the Harvard-MIT pigeon prank? An MIT student dressed in a black and white striped shirt went to the Harvard football stadium every day of one summer, blowing a whistle while scattering breadcrumbs or birdseed to coax neighborhood pigeons down onto the field. At Harvard's opening game of the season, upon the referee's first whistle, it said that hundreds of pigeons descended onto the field, causing a half-hour delay. Ah yes, classical conditioning put to good use. "Don't die" is my favorite thing to tell people when they say they're gonna go do something. Going to the store? Don't die. Going to the bathroom? Don't die. Going to Mars? Don't die. Going to write an email? Don't die. Driving to the gas station? Don't die. It fits every situation. Except for maybe a funeral visitation, because then I think that'd be a little bit rude. I'm glad I'm not the only one who does this. But I like to toss in, have fun for meaningless moments. Getting a glass of water? Have fun. Gotta pee? Have fun. Tying your shoe? Have fun. I like to dramatically tell people, "I'll never forget you." It's really fun to do this at work because every time I leave, there's one person who has never experienced this and assumes I'm leaving forever, and their confusion is really fun when I show up the next day. Plus, it's fun to announce when someone says they're going to the toilet. Thought-to-speech technology that gets hacked by people who want text messages from their pets while they are at work, only to immediately regret it because their pets text them the dumbest things, and the only way to get any kind of a clear image of what's going on is texting the other pets for cross-reference. Like, you get a text from your dog going, "End is here, doom is coming, urgent, urgent, send text, God have mercy, human, come home immediately." You have no idea why the text translator has decided that your dog is Jewish, but that doesn't feel important enough to look into or change. And before you do, you text the cat like, "What's going on?" And the cat replies, "Sunshine is turned off, window is cold." So, okay, that's a clue. You've got a monitor lizard that doesn't do much monitoring, but will reply with whatever the lizard is feeling right now if you text question mark first. "The earth rumbles are sexy," replies the lizard. Okay, so dog panic, no sunshine, and the lizard is sensing vibrations. Oh, there's a rainstorm overhead. Fuck's sake. No author is entitled to comments, to interaction, to reblogs, or likes, or reviews, or anything. But in a community where you're essentially a bunch of indie writers, that's the lifeblood that keeps people posting. Writing doesn't necessarily stop, but when someone feels like no one gives a shit whether you're sharing or not, you quit sharing. In the simplest possible terms, creators aren't entitled to your support, but you're also not at all entitled to their creations. If you want content, support content creators. Even better, stop viewing your fellow fans creating things as content creators. We are not on YouTube, and we do not get money for this. Support your fellow fans by letting them know, human to human, that you enjoyed what they did. If we stop putting people who create on pedestals, maybe we can kill the influencer culture that's invaded fandom. Some of you forget that we're all just people, and it shows. My theory is that reincarnation is real, and that's why everything is so fucked up. We got too many people on Earth, and their souls were supposed to spend a few more cycles as endangered animals or something, but we fucked the environment and overpopulated. So we get guys who were supposed to be black-footed ferrets or whatever, till their soul reached maturity, but instead they're like influencers and politicians. This is also why furries exist. Yeah, I'll go ahead and integrate that into my belief system. Genuinely and unironically, my philosophy about music has expanded to Stop writing off music because it's from a specific genre, and I think that could be applied to most mediums, actually. Is country music really all bad, or are you only catching snippets of Christo-nationalist propaganda on the radio? Are horror movies always shallow torture porn, or are you just thinking of trailers you saw for slasher movies? Are fantasy novels only for kids, or was the last one you picked up Harry Potter? Is anime always fan service? Or are you just running into ecchi clips online over and over and over? Are you looking for good media, or are you finding bad media and considering it representative? Gotta keep your mind open, guys. If the new Twitter users turn Tumblr into a professional place, I'm going to start biting. Doing this to you if you want fired over a Tumblr post to become a real thing. Can you imagine? HR, we've traced a Tumblr username back to you, which almost no one is able to do. There are no identifying photos or names or check-ins that can link your posts to our commercial business. Nevertheless, the post we read has something we think may be gross misconduct. Me. Okay, I say a lot of shit. Can you please show me the specific post? HR. Sure, I'll just search your username and the exact text of the post with the tags that were placed on it at publishing. Tumblr. Don't worry, babes. I got you. Things that will get me fired? Search all of Tumblr. Tragically, nothing. Tumblr search. The best auto-delete function ever created.